Great morning. Hold on. Great morning, great morning, great morning. Hey, you guys. Come on in, come on in. Great morning, April. How are you, gorgeous? Great morning, great morning. Ooh, we. You all, this has already been a very productive day for me. I already got my workout in, my shower in. After I do this live, I'm getting ready to do my hair. Honey, come on. Listen, getting it done. You guys come on in. Come on in. Oh, thank you, Jackie. Great day to you too, Georgia. Miss Georgia Peach, okay? Okay, y'all come on in. This coffee is so darn hot, and I made it a while ago, so this cup is a good cup. But I need my coffee to be together. You guys go ahead and share this live, share this live. We're gonna talk about how to address your sabotage. We'll talk about how to address your sabotage. Come on in, come on in. I'm gonna share some things that I've been discovering. Y'all know I've been on a whole journey. Hey, Sierra, how are you? I'm sending you and Christian love right back, okay? Listen, y'all, listen. So y'all come on in, share the broadcast. Thank you, April, for sharing. Hey, thank you. Hey, Kareen, how are you? Gorgeous. You guys, let me know when you shared. Let me know when you shared. We're going to get started. I want to get as many people on the line as possible because I believe there's so many people. Everybody need this word, okay? God has just been giving me revelation and showing me how things that he's been showing me, like he's taking me step by step, right? And there's a reason. And what I'm going to share with you today is going to help make things make sense in your life, right? They're going to help make things make sense in your life. And I'm a firm believer that if we can make things make sense, understand some of why things happen in our lives, and we can begin to deal with things at the root. I'm a root person. Let's get to the root of it. I'm sick of us dealing with symptoms. I'm sick of us dealing with the surface. I'm sick of us, putting prayer as a band-aid on things. And I'm not saying that prayer doesn't work, but prayer combined with works better. Okay. Prayer combined with works better. See, God gives us revelation so that we can then engage in application. Hey, Daddy, my handsome, phenomenal, and fabulous daddy on the line this morning, y'all. Y'all show my daddy some love, honey. Let him know that he is loved, honey. So listen, you guys know that if you've been following me for any length of time, you know I'm all about healing. And I believe that healing is so important because God desires us to be whole. When Jesus spoke to the man at the pool of Bethesda, he said, "Wilt thou be made whole?" See, that was a question. He didn't say, "Will you be healed?" He said, "Will you be made whole?" Right? April said, "Hey, Daddy Wiggins." Jackie talking about, "Hey, Dad." Thank you for sharing, Jackie. So he asked the question, "Wilt thou be made whole?" And I'm convinced that most people like holding on to their problems, their patterns of behavior, the things that they've always done because they have come to be a source of comfort. Listen, I know what it's like to be in that place. I've definitely been in that place, but that's not where I am now. So God took me on a journey, a healing journey, and I've been sharing that journey with you guys all along, all the steps as I've gone through the different phases. And hopefully you've seen change in me. You've seen growth in me. You've seen me overcome things that were challenges for me, overcome some things that I wasn't even trying to overcome. But listen, God is taking it to the next level. The word of God says this, that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. To steal, kill, and destroy. And listen, the greatest battles that he fights are not those things that are external to us, but those things that are internal and inside of us. He comes to steal our joy and our peace. He comes to kill our hopes and dreams. He comes to destroy our confidence. Do you understand what I'm telling you? So listen, how does he do that? See, what he's done is he's mastered the art of getting us to do it for ourselves. Huh? He's mastered the art of getting us to do it for ourselves and to ourselves. So he gets the wheel rolling and then he just sits back and watches us continue to engage in the same behaviors that are destroying our life and preventing us from getting to the place of destiny that God has already ordained as our destiny. It's already ours. Our name is already there, but we can't get there, and we can't get there not because of someone else, not because of what's going on outside of us, because of what's going on inside of us. The truth of the matter is this: two people can have the exact same events occur to them. One go on to be wildly successful and another one go on to give up. What is the difference? The difference is not what happens to you. It's how you respond to what happens to you. What do you do with what's happened to you? Well, we develop these things called saboteurs, right? They are the things that we do to self-sabotage. Now, initially, listen to me. Initially in our childhood, they work in our favor. They work for us. They protect us. They help us get through trauma, right? So when we talk about trauma, and most of us experience some kind of trauma in childhood, even if we had a good childhood, right? There's some kind of trauma. There are patterns that establish designed to protect us, okay? So our brain is automatically wired to engage in protection. It's automatically wired to protect us. Anything that seems a threat to us, it's saying danger, danger, Will Robinson, danger. And it doesn't matter if it's something good. It can be something good, but if there's a risk associated with it. Oh, you might lose, you might fail. Oh, what if you're not good enough? What if you can't do it, right? Your brain says, oh, no, 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 don't do that. Don't do that. And it triggers our fight or flight instinct, right? And too often our response is flight. We'll run away from it. We'll run away from it because we don't want disappointment. We don't want embarrassment. We don't want to fail. Like, I know this for a fact about me. I like to win. And because I like to win, if it's a game that I play and I can't win at that game, or I haven't won at that game, I'll quit playing it. I'm not playing that. For what? To lose? But how do you get better if you never play it? Right? But see, in my mind tells me that I ought to be able to win out the gate. I ought to be able to do it out the gate. What is that about? Well, it's a saboteur or a self-sabotaging technique that I use, right? It's in me, right? And it's been in me because I put it in me as a way of dealing with my world and my life and what was going on to protect me. But guess what? At 56, it's no longer protecting me. It shifted in my adult years, right? From something that protected me to something that sabotaged me, something that stopped me. Now, when I was a child, it protected me. It protected my feelings. It protected my emotions. It protected whatever. Whatever it was designed to do, it did that. But it doesn't work now. So now it works against me and not for me. So what I've discovered as I've been on this journey, you guys, I've talked about undermethylation and how our body, when it does not methylate properly, it doesn't produce the appropriate amounts of serotonin and dopamine. Those are both very important neurotransmitters for our ability to see the world clearly, as opposed to being in a state of stress and trauma response and triggered by everything. Okay. So when you're undermethylated, your body is not getting the nutrients it needs. Okay. Because it's not getting the nutrients it needs, it's not producing what it's supposed to produce the way it's supposed to produce it. So now what we think is normal for us to feel is not normal. It is abnormal, but we don't know because we're so accustomed to living like that. We're so accustomed to our life being like that. We are strictly in survival mode. Strictly in survival mode. You'll notice there's a difference between how people show up in survival mode versus thriving mode. When people are thriving, they're not afraid to take risks. They're not afraid to take chances. They don't judge themselves so harshly. They're not so harsh on everybody else. Listen, they understand that while these things may have worked at some point in your life, they are not effective and they are not your friend. We can say they're our friend. We can say that it's a good thing because on the surface, some of the things that are produced by undermethylation look good, like being an overachiever. Like that looks like a good thing, right? But what is the problem with it? Your identity is tied to your achievement. You feel like your only worth and value is in achievement. And when you're not achieving something, then you don't have value, right? So when you begin to understand that, you understand that, listen, this is me getting my body in line. This is me getting my spirit in line. And this is me getting my mind in line, right? All of this is a part of God's plan. All of this is a part of God's plan to get you to the place called destiny. You can't get there just any kind of way. And if you do, you won't be able to sustain it because you will sabotage yourself. Have you ever wondered why it is that somebody can get caught cheating and continue to engage in cheating behavior? Do you understand that literally what's happening is they're sabotaging themselves? They're sabotaging themselves. You have to understand, what are your saboteurs? What are those things that are your go-to when it comes to sabotaging yourself? Because this is the thing, the saboteurs don't want you to be happy. They don't want you to be successful. They don't want you to be productive. So they're always working to tear you down, to destroy you. And guess what else they do? They trigger other people in your life to begin to say some of the very things that you think in your head. All they're doing is saying what you already believe to be true about yourself. You may not even realize that subconsciously you believe that. You may not realize that you're drawing that energy into your life with your thoughts, the things that you say to yourself. And so when someone else says it out their mouth, you're mad. How dare you say that to me? Well, you say it to you. What's the difference? Oh, you want to be the only one that says it to you. No, deal with that thing, pull it up from the root and get rid of it so that you can be who God created you to be. Hey, Roderick, how are you? Great morning, Stacy. Good morning, Corey. Daddy Corey said, good morning, Dad. So y'all may be saying, Dr. V, why are you talking about this? It's time. It's time. I don't care how old you are or how young you are. It's time for us to attack those things that have been attacking us and destroy them, so that the giants that we see today, the Egyptians that we see today, we never see them again. And when they show up, we're killing them, right? See, this has been my challenge with the church a lot of times. The church's response to everything is spiritual. And while, yes, there is a spiritual component to everything, because you got to know who you are. Once you know who you are, you'll stop settling for certain things in your life and you'll start doing the work that's necessary, right? But prayer alone is not the answer. You can't just anoint somebody with oil and everything change in their life suddenly, because most people are not going to sustain that. It'll change for a while. But then those old things will begin to come back. Why? Because we have these saboteurs who are on assignment by the enemy to destroy us. See, this is why slavery was so effective. Slavery was effective because the slave master learned how to cause the slaves to destroy themselves, to keep themselves in captivity. All of these hundreds of years, centuries later, as African descended people in America, we find ourselves still engaging in some of these same things. Those things are in our reptilian brain, which is operating subconsciously, causing us to engage in certain behaviors. I don't want y'all to freak out when I say stuff like reptilian brain and I start talking science, because you need to understand there's a science to your destruction. If you understand that there's a science to your destruction, then you can use science to cancel your destruction and take dominion. Our problem has been that we are afraid of looking at science because, we don't do science. We don't do math. We're not good at that, but we created it. Stop the madness. Stop the madness. I'm on assignment, and my assignment is to help people get to their place of destiny, that place that you've been called to, so that you not only know that you've been called to that place and that you have a purpose and a destiny, but that you know how to get there. I'm not trying to sell nobody no pipe dreams. This is not about pipe dreams. This is about doing the work, and the work can be challenging, but it's worth it. How many of you are ready to take a step to move into destiny? How many are you ready for that? How many of y'all are sick and tired of being sick and tired of sabotaging yourself? And you've been sabotaging yourself because you're too smart, you're too amazing, you're too wonderful, you're too anointed not to already be in that place called destiny. How many of you recognize that you literally are amazing and brilliant, but you have not been willing to do the work, or you didn't know what work to do or how to even do it to get to destiny? Are you ready? Are you ready? Now, this is what I had to learn. People can want a thing, but not be ready for the thing. People can want a thing, but not be ready for the thing. I know that's right, Mark Quinter. Stacy said, good morning, Daddy. Oh, they love my daddy. Stacy said, me, yes. Are you ready? Are you ready to change your life? Are you ready to do the work? Are you ready to get tools that will help you to do that? Everything that I do, I'm trying to tell y'all, this is the thing that I know for sure and for certain about me and my purpose. Everything that I do is designed to help people get to destiny, to be the best version of themselves, which is the version that God created, not the version that life and circumstances and experiences created, not the lies that we've come to believe is our truth, not the things that we've come and convinced ourselves and convinced others is just us. We lie to ourselves so much. We lie to ourselves, and that's a tool of self-sabotage, right? We lie to ourselves because it then keeps us in a place of comfort, but it doesn't require us to make effort to grow or to change. I'm convinced, and this is why for a lot of people who are more seasoned, I keep hearing the best is yet to come. Can you imagine? Listen to me. I want you to imagine. God has gifted me to be able to reach people at all ages of the age spectrum. I can reach the little kids, elementary, middle school, high school, college age, young adults. I can reach the adults, the middle-aged adults, and the seniors. Why is that? Because I'm called to break these generational curses off of people's lives by allowing them to see the gifts that God has given them, to understand the personality that God instilled in them, and that their personality is not their enemy. It is simply how God created them, and it is connected to their destiny. God has been giving me a holistic view of life, of people, of the journey, so that I can help people navigate those difficult things. The truth of the matter is, most people have experienced some kind of childhood trauma. More people have been molested than ever will ever admit it or acknowledge it or even remember it. You see, sometimes in our brain's attempts to protect us, it'll cause us to forget certain things because remembering it is too hard. We feel like you're not going to be able to. So it creates mechanisms to deal with the trauma that we experience. When we look at people who are bipolar and schizophrenic, listen, I firmly believe that a lot of that is tied into trauma and responses to trauma, but also to undermethylation. See, your body begins to do some things to try to protect itself. And so we think that there are no cure for these things, but our body was designed to heal itself. God gave us everything that we need to heal ourselves, to cure ourselves. And so we've got to understand how to tap into that, how to find that, how to use that. That's how you create change that's lasting. I'm not talking about the temporary change. I'm talking about lasting change. But because we convince ourselves that this is just who I am, it allows us to stay stuck. That's self-sabotage. It's not just who you are. Stop lying to yourself. But you can't even recognize the lie because you feel like this is true. No, seriously. I've been like this as long as I can remember. That's because you instituted that saboteur early in your life. That's why you feel like you've always been like that. But it doesn't mean that's who you are. It's not who you are. And if it is contrary to God's word and what God has declared about us, to our God DNA, then that's not truth. It's a lie. It's a deception. It may be an aberration to our God DNA that has occurred as a result of ancestral trauma, our biological DNA. But we have the power to change all of that. Did you know that? We literally can change our DNA. We can change what's expressed and what's not expressed. Although something may show up in your DNA, it does not mean it is your destiny. It simply means that you've got to figure out, how do I change this? You don't have to stay like that. See, this is why Jesus said, and greater works than these shall you do. See, you won't just be able to cause the blind to see or the deaf to hear, the mute to speak, and the lame to walk, to cure leprosy. You won't just be able to do that. You will be able to do greater works than these. I firmly believe those greater works start with us. When you understand that you have the power to change DNA, to change your body, to change your molecular structure, to change whether you live or die. Listen to me. You have the ability to change whether you live or die as a result of a diagnosis of something in your body. We don't have to accept the doctor's diagnosis as God's final diagnosis. No, it's simply an indication. Oh, I need to do some healing work in this area. And then we go to work. Why is it that two people can get a cancer diagnosis? It can be stage 3, stage 4 cancer. One ends up healed and the other one dies. Why is it? Something happens in the brain. The brain is our most powerful tool and our greatest weapon all at the same time. It is our greatest blessing and our greatest weapon. It depends on how you use it and your ability to tap into the fact and to believe that you can use it. See, I know that once I set my mind to something, it is very difficult for me not to accomplish it. But if I don't accomplish it, I promise you, I will be able to point out my self-sabotaging behaviors that prevented me from accomplishing it. That's facts. But if we won't deal with those things, we can never get to that place that God desires. Life and life more abundant. We'll have life, but it won't necessarily be the life that God, and understand that life more abundant is not just about material things. It's about joy. It's about peace. It's about well-being. It's about being healthy. It's about all of those things. It's not just about you've got the job, the car, the house, the spouse that you want. No. See, I understand God makes stuff make sense for me, right? Because he knows that there's an analytical side to me, even though I'm extremely positive, but even that, my positivity can be extreme, and it's so extreme that it sabotages me because it creates or activates my avoider. That's my number one saboteur. Avoider and avoiding. So I'll make it so positive that I just avoid it under the guise of, I'm just, living a peaceful life. I'm staying in the positive, but it also means that I'll avoid some things that I need to address. So I have to deal with that. Everything can't just be positive, but at the same time, I'm positive that I can change whatever I encounter in my life. So I've got pieces of it. And so pieces of the puzzle have been in operation in my life, but now God is pulling it all together, not just for me, but so that I can show other people how this all works together. Listen, I've been on a journey for a long time where God has been showing me and introducing me to different things, and it resonates with my spirit so strongly. I feel it and I get married to it. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. See, I understood that because I study communication and psychology, that how we communicate is an indication of things that are going on inside of us, those internal things, right? So I pay attention to what people say. I pay attention to what I say. The problem has been, though, that I haven't been able to overcome those saboteurs. Well, now I found the tools. I found the tools to create change in a way that doesn't take a long time, but it does take concentrated effort. There are all these pieces that God is pulling together to this puzzle. And now he's like, okay, babe, this is a big piece. This is a big piece. This one been messing you up your whole life. It's been messing you up. It's been messing you up. You ready? You ready? You ready to address this? You ready? See, listen, I firmly believe when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So God teaches me. See, I'm a little different. A lot of times God won't allow other people to be my teacher. He'll teach me. He'll introduce me to things, and then he'll make connections for me, and I'll be like, my mind is working. My strategist, My strategic is working. And I'm seeing how things go together, and I'm putting the pieces together. And all of a sudden, this information over here, and this information, and that information, and this information, and this information, all seemingly coming from different places. The spiritual stuff, the psychological stuff, the physical stuff, the emotional stuff, the financial stuff. Like literally, now I understand why he's had me on the journey that he's had me on. And it is because I am called to help people become whole. And to know that you can do it. You can do it. You've got to think about systems and the purpose of systems and why systems exist. I take absolutely nothing from therapy because my sister is an amazing therapist. When I tell you she's an incredible therapist, she's an incredible therapist. And I believe that there are a lot of incredible therapists out there. But do you know that people pay their bills with you staying in therapy? If you stay in therapy, then they continue to get paid. Have you ever talked to somebody and they've been in therapy for 10, 20 years? It's taking you 20 years to get to the root of things and to begin to resolve it? There's a problem with that. That's because it's not designed to cure you. It's designed to keep you going, constantly searching, constantly feeling like, oh, I gotta have this. I need somebody to not designed to take you into a place of independence, right? But to keep you in a place of codependence or dependence on what it is that they do. Okay. I'm not saying all therapists are like that, but the same is true with the church. Pastors don't want you to get whole because when you get whole, you don't need them. Well, you might not need me then. And then you won't tithe into my ministry. You won't be a part of my ministry. You won't tithe into my ministry. Coaches need you to need them. They need you to need your next class, the next this, because it keeps their money coming in. It keeps their money flowing. My goal is to help people get to the point where they've not only mastered themselves, but they then go on and help other people master themselves. See, I don't want you to always be dependent on me. My goal is to get you out of the nest. So when people post this thing, you don't take care of your kids until they're 18. You take care of your kids for the rest of their life. I bet I won't post it. I don't care who posted. Post it, like it, and none of that. And I've seen a lot of people post that. The devil is a lie. We've got to prepare our children to be adults. And that doesn't mean that they won't have a time in their life where they have to go back home. That's different than you taking care of them all their life. What? That's that I need to be needed. I just don't want my kids to struggle. I don't want my kids to go through what I went through. So you know what's happened? We created a whole generation of entitled buttholes. Entitled buttholes. They're arrogant, they're entitled, and they're buttholes. They're just nasty for no reason. They don't have grace. They don't know what grace looks like. And they didn't even go through like some of the stuff that we went through. So we thought because we didn't have certain things, I'm going to give them everything that they want so that they can. But now they expect everything to be given to them. They don't have any survival tools. They don't know how to deal with challenges. They don't know what it means to work for something. But we think that we're doing them a favor. We're not doing them a favor. We are crippling them. And then we send them off to be in a relationship with somebody with their crippled self. What are we doing? See, this is why it's imperative that we do the work on us, because what we'll probably discover is the pleaser in us is the reason that we do that with our kids. Or we do that so that they'll always love us and they'll like us and they'll be our friend and they'll whatever. That's self-sabotage. It is not designed to help you. It is designed to destroy you and your seed and your destiny. That's why Sunday, I'm doing no more sabotage. Tuesday, I'm doing no more sabotage. Why? Because we need to understand how our brain is working for us, how much of our brain is working for us. We need to understand what our saboteurs are. We need to understand why we have them, and we need to understand how to destroy them. See, to me, it's simple. You get the information, you deal with that thing at the root, and you stop being that person that simply puts band-aids on it and deal with the symptoms. A lot of stuff are symptoms, but they're not the root. But because we don't know how to get to the root, we think the symptom is the root. The symptom is not the root. The symptom is just the symptom of something that is deeper, the underlying issue. So when I look at the fact that I've been married and divorced 5 times, like, I got to deal. My married and divorce is not the problem. It's the symptom. What is the problem? What is at the root of that? So I had to do the work to figure out what was at the root of it. Otherwise, I was destined to continue to repeat it. Destined to. Because if you don't deal with the root, you'll keep going in the cycle. And, we're quick to say, well, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. Yet we continue to do it. We continue to operate in a place of insanity in various areas of our life. Just because you're not acting insane in one area doesn't mean there's not insanity that exists in your life. It doesn't mean that. So until we are honest with ourselves and are willing to look openly and honestly at what is it that's stopping me? What is it in me that's stopping me? I stop blaming every freaking body else for why you are the way you are. There are some things that, though you may have experienced trauma as a result of some other people's decisions, you are responsible for how you move forward as an adult. And if we can give our children these tools early enough, we can avoid them going through some of the bull crap that we had to go through. But we've got to do the work. We've got to do the work. So if you know that you need to do the work, but you don't do the work, then what does it say about you? So I'm doing the No More Sabotage class. How many of you know that you engage in self-sabotage? Say yes, raise your hand. How many of you know that you personally engage in self-sabotaging behaviors, where when it looks like you're getting close to something, you'll do some stupid-ish to mess it up? Or there's a pattern that keeps showing up in your life. How many of you know that you do? Put them in the comments. Broderick said, I do. April said, yes. How many of you know? How many of you know? You know you do. Stacy got her hand raised. How many of you know that? Me said me. Stacy said me. Let me not only put my hand up, but let me say me. Okay? How many of you know that? You've seen it happen. You're not where you want to be, should be, but you're not there. And you blame it on outside stuff, but it ain't the outside stuff, y'all. Now, let me tell you how self-sabotage works. So I say, I'm doing this class, and in the class, this is what we're going to do, right? And you say, wow, that's great. And I say, the class is $75. $75. It's a 2-hour class, 10 people per class. I'm doing it on Sunday and Tuesday. And you say, man, I wish I could do that. But I've got something going on Sunday, or I've got something going on Tuesday, or I don't have the money, or I can't afford that. Okay, so how long can you afford to continue to engage in this self-sabotaging behavior? What is it costing you? What is it costing you? Let's do a cost-benefit analysis. What is it costing you? What has it costed you to engage in this behavior? How much time have you lost? How many relationships have you lost? How much sleep have you lost? How much stress have you endured? And what is the impact of that stress on your body? How much medication have you had to take because your blood pressure was high? What other illnesses have showed up in your life as a result of stress? Hmm? Let me tell you something about us. We find a way to do anything that we want to do. Period. We find a way to do anything that we want to do. Now, if you tell yourself, I'm too busy, if you tell yourself, I don't have the money, but you know you need it, you're lying to yourself, and one of your saboteurs is working against you. It's working against you. I'm just telling y'all the truth because it doesn't want you to learn how to do this. It doesn't want you to identify it. It doesn't. It wants to stay right where it is because it's good and comfortable. We can call it a spirit. I hear people talk about that spirit of procrastination. It's what you gonna keep it there. The church says, "Oh, just pray, and it'll go away. Just pray and it'll go away." But if you don't have things in place to really deal with that thing, it's gonna come back when you have your next crisis, when you have your next stressful situation. It's gonna come back. It's going to. How do I know? I've seen it in my life. I've seen it in my life over and over again. One of my saboteurs is high achiever. Like everything was based on achievement. Now listen, I can achieve my butt off. Baby, yeah, put a goal in front of me. I'm doing everything in my power to get it done. But high achiever leads to being a workaholic and your identity being based in your achievement and not in just your being. So then you beat yourself up when you don't achieve. And if you're not achieving something, if you're not working towards something, then you feel like you have no value. Is that healthy? That's not healthy. That's not healthy. See, your saboteurs are designed, and some of them may look like a good thing. That high achiever looks like it's a good thing. Oh, Dr. V, oh, she's an achiever, boy. She's going to get some, she got her PhD. She does this, she did this, she did that, she did this. But what happens when I stop doing and I just be? Then you looking at me like she done fell off. And I'm looking at me like I don't have value. That's not good. We can fix this. We can. You can. You got everything inside of you that you need. Now you just need some tools and learn how to put that stuff together. But you can change it. But it requires you making a decision and making a commitment. So, class Sunday at 5 p.m., Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Both of them Eastern Standard Time. Which class are you coming to? Sunday or Tuesday? Put in the comments which class you're coming to. Since we know we need it, which class you coming to? Only 10 spots per class. Which class are you coming to? Yeah, you got to make a decision. You got to make a decision. You got to make a commitment. Stacy said Tuesday. I'm not sure who that is, but they said Sunday. April said Sunday. What class are you coming to? Which one? Which one? You know you need it. Which one are you coming to? Corey said Tuesday. Which one? Because y'all, this ain't a game. We're talking about your life. If $75 can change your life, you're not going to do it? What? If $75 can get you on the other side of the things that have kept you and held you hostage and prevented you from being happy and having happy, healthy, effective relationships with your children, with your parents, with your significant other, prevented you from $75 can get you to a place of success and just increasing your money, your effectiveness, your performance. You're not going to spend it. $75 in 2 hours. You're not doing that. You mean to tell me change is not worth $75 to you? That's what you're saying. I need you to be clear about what you're saying. Okay? Now, y'all can sit here and think. Listen, Corey said, are we going to buy pizza or peace? Right. Y'all can sit here and think, I'm just trying to sell you. No, I'm trying to pull you out of that rut that you've been in. I'm trying to pull you to freedom. Call me Harriet Tubman. Call me Harriet. I'm here to bring you to freedom. Okay? But if you won't do the work to get to your freedom, don't be mad at me. And don't be like, well, Dr. V, I wanted to, but no. Anything that is important enough to you, you will freaking figure it out. You figure it out. The same way you figure everything else in your life out. You figure it out. The problem is, can we just be honest? Let's be honest. The problem is, you don't want freedom that badly. You don't want it that badly. April said, and that's facts. You will figure it out. If you got to borrow it, if you got to use Afterpay and have it split into 4 payments, listen, whatever you got to do, you will do that. You'll do it. You will make it happen. Why? You need it. You need it. Let me tell you something. I made a decision to spend $200 to go to a conference or to a convention, okay? For business, I was not working. But that $200 investment, because that's what it was, I came back changed as a result of that. Not just dealing with the business, but my mindset changed. I came back with a renewed vigor. I came back understanding some nutrient things, some things on the nutrient. Y'all know I've been studying undermethylation. I'm like, oh, wow, this will help with the undermethylation. Oh, this will do this. This will do this. And guess what I did? I bought it. I found a way to purchase what I needed in order to change my physiology the way it needed to be changed, to get me the nutrients I know my body needs. Because guess what? I understand that either I'm going to invest in the supplements to change my body, or I'm going to be having to take some darn medicine that doesn't permanently change my body, but it temporarily produces some results. No, I want my body to get to where it's supposed to be. And I'm going to do whatever I've got to do to make that happen. And then let me show you how God works. Okay. I spent the $200 thoroughly, not only enjoyed myself, but was impressed with the leadership and their commitment to changing people's mindsets and helping people to have success, right? Well, the founder of the company, he spoke, and I was just like, wow, like he was so far ahead of his time. He was such a visionary. Like I was just blown away, and I could connect and relate because I'm a visionary. And when you're a visionary, it's hard because you're 10 to 20 years ahead of other people, and they're looking at you like you're crazy. And then 10 years later, they're recognizing what you knew back then because you saw it and you're like, man, or you had a vision of it, or God showed it to you, and you knew that it was going to be revolutionary. 2 days ago, the founder of the company died. If I had not gone, I would have absolutely missed out on the opportunity to see him in person. I would have missed out on the electric nature of the environment in which we were in. I would have missed out on that. I would have missed it. But it's as though God kept him so that I would have the opportunity to be inspired by him. You know, you look at your life and you just think of it as your life. But do you know that that man changed my life, and I never met him in person? Like I didn't meet him, but he changed my life. His vision has changed my life. And I'm not the only one. Some of you would say, Dr. V, you've changed my life. But don't you know there are people waiting for you so that they can say that you changed their life? See, that's why it's important for you to make this decision and register for this event. And listen, if you're really smart, you won't just do it for you, but you'll bring somebody with you. Why? Changing your core is challenging enough. But when you change your core and the people around you don't understand you, you speak in a different language, you're moving different, it makes it even more challenging. Because now not only are you dealing with your stuff, but you're dealing with the fact that they don't understand what's going on and they looking at you like you changed. And you like, darn right I changed. Like, and for the better. Listen, $75 for one person, $125 for two. Invest in the VIP experience for $25 more and get a 1-hour session with me one-on-one so that we can really work through it. And the beauty of that is you don't just get the skills and the information, you get the profit. See, there's something about being able to see. Because listen, this is how I operate. You know, I have a core group of women who are in my life. And what they will tell you is they'll be talking about something and I'm going to take them to the core. Now, I haven't known them since they were children, but I can tell them things that happened in their childhood that have resulted in some things. I can identify some challenges that they're having now in their adult life that are fixable, but if they don't fix them, I can tell them what the end result will be. You don't deal with this, I'm going to tell you what's getting ready to happen. Why? Life is about cycles and patterns until you break them, until you understand that you got the power. You do. You might need some information and you might need some tools, but everything that you need at the core of your being to change, anything that needs to be changed is inside of you. You just got to be able to identify it and learn how to put the pieces together. You got the pieces. You just got to put them together. So go register. I'm going to put the link up here for you guys. It's bit.ly, and it's actually in the description. It's in the title of the live. bit.ly/no mo sabotage. bit.ly/no mo sabotage, right? Get registered. And you want to register as soon as possible because I'm going to be sending you some links, some things that you need to do before we meet so that you're ready for the meeting and we can just go to work. You've got to do this stuff before. So register today. Don't wait. Register today, right? Bring a significant other, one of your children, a sibling, a parent. Bring somebody that you know needs this change, right? This, and I pray that y'all hear it in the spirit in which I'm saying it. You got to get selfish about your change. Because, yeah, you know, you can keep doing what you're doing, but you know you're going to be continuing cycles. You got to get selfish about your change. You got to get selfish about it. You might have to put some stuff off. You might have to do the afterpay option. You might have to talk to somebody and say, hey, listen, can we do this together? Because it's cheaper for us to do it together. But whatever you got to do it. Because you deserve a better life. I don't know about you, but I know this assignment that God has given me, like this is not one that I take lightly. It's not. I'm not playing with this. I'm not playing with my change, and I'm not playing with my assignment to you all's lives. Don't you play with it. Don't play with it. And if you know somebody that needs it, share this video with them so that they can make a decision for themselves. I just don't want to see you not get to that next dimension, because this is dimensional. Stacy said, Afterpay has been a blessing. Thank you for introducing it to me. Yeah, because sometimes you don't have all the money, but you got some of the money, right? Sometimes you don't have all the money, but you got some of the money. And if you're going to do Afterpay and you're going to do the $75, you might as well add the $25 and get the VIP so that you can take it to the next level and get that private one-on-one time. I don't know, y'all. Don't underestimate an hour with me. Don't underestimate that. And not because it's me, because really it's an hour of God giving you strategy and stuff. That's how it works. So if me saying something to you in 30 to 60 seconds on a live impacts you, imagine what that hour will do. I'm not magic, but I am willing and a vessel. And I'm not afraid of sharing what God is saying. I'm not holding back so that you can have to spend some more money. I don't do that. That's not. Now, if you want more in depth, that's different. Like if you want extended in depth, walk through the process, that's different. But I can tell you what I see and what it'll take to get there. Sometimes that's not the problem. Sometimes it's that we need that accountability. We need that, in order to get us to the other side of change. I'm telling y'all, I just know this. I know that God is up to something, and it is definitely that we would have a hope and a future and to bring us to an expected end. It's up to us to do the work. bit.ly/no mo sabotage. bit.ly/no mo sabotage. And I would rather you do that than to sow into me. I would rather see you do that than to sow into me. Sow into you. Sow into you. I'm not even putting my cash up out today. I put it it's in the thing. But listen, don't worry about sowing into me. Sow into you. Sow into you. It's worth it. And you're worth it. And I believe in you. And I believe that what God has deposited in you is so great that the world needs to see it manifested fully. And I don't care how young or how mature you are. I don't care. As long as we still have breath in our body, we have assignment to accomplish. You have a purpose. Stop being selfish. See, I want you to be selfish in a way that brings you to a place of healing and wholeness so that the world can benefit. You want to be selfish and be like, well, I need to do this for this person and I need to do that. And I'll be selfish if I do this. No, selfish is not loving yourself enough to do what's needed for you so that it can reap a harvest that is way greater than a one-time investment. Way greater. It's why I invest in books. It's why I invest in reading. It's why I invest in, making sure that I can get my workouts in. It's why I invest in, like nutrients and supplements. It's why I do it. Now people can be like, well, you could have used that money to do this. This is what Jesus said. And I want y'all to hear me and hear me clearly. Jesus said when Judas was talking about, and the disciples were talking about him, talking about Mary breaking open the alabaster box and anointing him with the perfume. They said, well, that could have been sold and the money given to the poor. Do you know that money given to the poor usually just doesn't really change the situation? What changes things is when you can teach people how to change their situation. That's where the true change lies. And Jesus said, the poor you will have with you always. Why is that? Was Jesus being elitist? No, he was acknowledging that poor is a mentality. And there are people who will maintain that poverty and that poor mentality all of their life. But it doesn't have to be you. It does not have to be you. I pray that the words that I've spoken today in some way have activated something in you that lets you know your value and your worth, but also gives you hope that change is possible for you, that encourages you to take a leap and bet on you, because I'm betting on you. What I'm doing, that 2 hours, like, I could make so much more money from that, but that's not what God said. God wants me to help the people who are stuck, but they're caught in this catch-22 of, I want change, but I can't afford to purchase the things that'll help lead me to change. So they just stay where they are. No, we're breaking cycles. We're breaking cycles so that you can get on the other side of money, have money working for you, and really begin to produce at the level that God desires. So you guys, bit.ly/no more sabotage. No more sabotage. Get on the other side of your saboteurs. Get on the other side of your self-sabotaging behaviors and thoughts, right? And let's take this journey to freedom, because that's how you get free. As long as you're still self-sabotaging, you're not free. You're not. So let's deal with it and get free. The word of God says the kingdom of God suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. This is not something that's just going to be, oh, it's just going to disappear. Oh, I'm just going to pray and it's going to be gone. No. Oh, this one, oh, you got to fight for this. So you're going to have to activate your inner warrior so that you can do what's necessary to kill what's preventing you from your destiny. And believe me, it's not a person. It's not a situation or a circumstance. It's you. It's what's going on inside of you that's doing it. Let's get rid of it so that you can truly live your best life. I don't want to just be busy. I don't want to just be restless. I want to be able to live my life fully, enjoying the moments of where I am in that moment, without feeling stressed about, well, if I'm enjoying this moment, well, how is this going to affect this, or how is it going to affect that? No, I'm not. But nor blindly just being all super positive, but unwilling to face the things that I have to face. So I have to be able to get that balance, because on the one hand, my positivity is an amazing thing. But on the other hand, it can produce some things in my life that don't work. So I got to figure that thing out. I got to kill the avoider while tapping into and using the sage, that wise one that resides in me. And we're going to talk about a little science, how your brain works, what parts of your brain is activated when you're in survival versus thriving. We're going to talk about that because I want y'all to understand that literally there is physiological reasons for what's going on in your life. The light just went off. That's a sign. Listen, I love you guys. I love you to life and life more abundant. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Reach out to me. Let's talk. Let's figure it out. Because I promise you, there's a way to make it happen. There always is. I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Have an absolutely amazing and incredible day. Be blessed. Mwah.